Good morning, Floss Tube. My name is Trisha. Welcome to my channel. I just want to stitch. Today is January the 19th and we are going to do a WIP Parade, the 2024 WIP Parade. If you are one of my subscribers and you've come back, welcome back. I know it's been a long time. Yeah, I can't even tell you how long it's been, but I'm so happy that you decided to come back and watch me. And if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you'll find something that you like to see that I am stitching. I stitch all kinds of projects. I love full coverage. I like Quakers. I like samplers. I like everything in between. So I'm sure there'll be something here that you may enjoy seeing. A little bit about me. I am from the UK originally, but I live in Canada now, have been here for quite a while. I lived in the US for a while, about 6 years, and then I came to Canada. We have a blended family, so I went from a family of 3 to a family of 7. That was interesting is all I can say, but they're all grown now and have families of their own, and we have, I think, 7 grandchildren. The youngest one, he is 1 year old. He's just turned 1. So yeah, I started stitching in the 80s and it wasn't anything too exciting. Stitched on Ada. Yeah, and then when I came to Canada, which was a long time ago, when was I here? 1999. They had these big craft shows here twice a year. They've changed a lot though. And I picked up a Mirabilia chart, and it was a whole project. It was everything all together, a whole kit. So I started stitching on that, and then which I stitched about 6 times, and I'm thinking of doing it again, which is crazy, I know, but hey. And in 2022 I was on a cruise and I met Sheila from the Sunshine Stitchers. She was hosting a group, and my husband made me go. Because I was like, oh no, I just rather stitch in my cabin. I'm happy doing that. But I went along. I was always blaming Sheila for this, but it wasn't her fault. It was my husband's fault. So he cannot complain about how this has all bloomed into something a whole lot bigger than just one project. So yes, Sheila told me all about Floss Tube and all of that, and I fell hard down the rabbit hole. So now I have, at that point when I met Sheila, I think I was stitching 2 things maybe, or it might have just been 1. And now I have over 50 WIPs. Such is life. Anyway, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy what you see. This could be quite long, and I'm trying to incorporate my plans in here as well as everything else, because we're already halfway through January and I've already stitched on things. So yeah. So last year I was under the grand illusion that I only started 4 things. And apparently I started 15 things. I don't know how that happened actually, but hey. Out of all my projects, 16 of them I did not stitch on at all last year. So I'm trying to change that this year and maybe touch at least most of my projects. The goal for me, the aim for me, is to finish the majority of my 2022 projects. There's not that many. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. But one of them's a full coverage and there's no way I'm going to finish that. Anyway, let's get on. Last year I stitched 314 days out of 365, so 51 days got no stitching at all. I managed to do about 137,000 stitches. I do like to count my stitches, and I manually count. I click them, so there's error either way, but that's okay. It's only for me. And I finished 3 projects last year, which was a miracle in and of itself. I wasn't around much last year. I do have some subscribers, and I'm hoping that you will come back. But I was away a lot, and also I thought I was stitching on mainly one project. So I didn't think I would have much to show anybody, and a lot of the time I was gone. So with that, suffice to say, let's get going. So I'm going to give you the whole of last year and a little bit of January all rolled into one. So the first one we're going to start with is the Fox and Rabbit 2022 Mystery Sal, which I started in June of 2022, because that was about the time when I went down that rabbit hole. Now I only did 59 stitches on this project. I would never do a mystery sal again, although you should never say never. I like to see what a project is going to be like before I start stitching it. And this is very much the case with this project. It's beautiful, but I would have used different colors. I would have, this is huge. I can't even begin to tell you how many stitches in there, because if I gathered all that information, we would not be here today. So this is what I have so far. It is very large. There's this outside border, and then there's the inner border, and then there's this kind of border. It's called it's called Changing Seasons. And I fell out of love with it. What I'm using to stitch with this is 823 and 964. In hindsight, I should have, I don't know. I don't like I don't know what those are, urns or something. I probably should have stitched them in this color, because I actually think that would be better. I could unpick that. Oh, I don't know. So my plan is, actually, let me show you. I have this. I use GoodNotes, so all of my projects are in GoodNotes. So I am thinking I am just going to stitch this inner border, all of this in here, and get it finished. And I'll be happy with that. It is so big. Unless, of course, I change my mind, and that's my prerogative. But unless I really fall back in love with this, I'm probably not going to do that. I bring it in closer. But that would be achievable for me to finish this year and get it off my WIP list. But yeah, if I unpicked those pots and just did them one colour, I don't know. I honestly don't know. If anybody has any suggestions how I could change that and make it look better, I'd appreciate it. I would appreciate any suggestions that you have, because it's sad. I've put so much work into it, so I'm not going to UFO it. I'm just, going to continue. The next project in my list, I started this on the 15th of June 2022. It's the 12 Days of Christmas by Bothy Threads. And I'm up to here. I'm up to here, but I've made a mistake here. I'm sure there's a lot of you that can commiserate with me. So these are the threads. Nice threads. Pretty. But I use this gold. It's Diamond by DMC. The gold that came in the kit was just blew my mind. I couldn't use that stuff. So I would ideally like to get this finished, but I'm not sure if it's possible. This is what I have so far. Nearly lost my needle. It's being stitched on 28 count Lugana. I didn't use the kit fabric. I'm not a fan of Ada. But I made a mistake here and I don't know where my mistake is. So my plan is to actually, I'm just going to stitch all the way around here and here and here and then figure this out at the end. So I hope it works. So this is on my, I would love to finish it, but I don't know if I will because it is in actual fact full coverage. So we shall see if that happens. Okay, the next one I have, this is one that everybody has seen. This is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studios. Stitching it with the Call threads, which are classic Colourworks, and I'm stitching it on Stormy Night by Picture This Plus, and this I am nearly done. Oh, I didn't tell you how many stitches. On 12 Days of Christmas I put 4,536 stitches in that. I haven't stitched on it yet this year. So that's where we are with this. This, yeah, is Stormy Night by Picture This Plus. It's 40 count, so I'm stitching it 1/2. Let me try and figure this out so you can see it better. But I'm nearly finished. Nearly finished. Just have this bit over here to do. Down here. Just this. Last year I did 5,594 stitches. And this year I have done 2,422 this month. So I'm hoping next month maybe this will be a finish, which I'm excited for. So yeah. So that's that one. The next one I have is What Remains by Blackbird Designs. I got the full kit from Traditional Stitches. I'm sorry I have not ironed this. I did not stitch on it last year. Pretty sure. Oh, I did. 252 stitches. Not too sure how I can stretch this out so you can see it better. This is a week's dye works, a week's linen. I can't say that I'm in love with this linen. It's very loose weave. Okay, so, you know, this is quite, well, I've gone all the way. Yeah, I've got all the border in and everything, and it all matched up. So I'm hoping I can get this finished this year. I'm also using the called for threads, which are silks. it's, the silks are fibres to die for. Wow, they're so fine. Beautiful silks. I've now discovered the wax, using wax, and that makes it easier to stitch with them. But yeah, they're beautiful. So this is in memory of my mom. So I really would like to get this finished this year. So, oh goodness, I have so many piles. We all complain about that. It's whether we keep them upright. Okay, the next one I started in 2022, which was in September, is Lady Godiva. So I come from a city called Coventry. Lady Godiva is from Coventry. There's a whole history behind this. We have a clock in the center of the city that Lady Godiva, on the hour, Lady Godiva comes out and she comes round on riding her horse, and Peeping Tom comes out peeping at the top. That's been there since I don't know when. I actually should find out when they installed that clock. My mum used to take me to see the clock, and yeah, I used to take my kids to see the clock in the city centre if we were in town, and it would be close to the hour. We would be running up so we could see the clock. I don't have too much done on this because I restarted it. I used to do all my full coverage on 20 count, and I don't like that. So I'm basically stitching right up here in this corner. So I've nearly, well, I'm probably to half a page. Let's say half a page and be conservative. Half of the first page. Oh, it's that way around. And this is on 25 count Lugano 1/1. It's very dark. So yeah, I love full coverage. There's no way that I'm going to get that finished. This was charted by Charting Creations, and the artwork is by John Collier. So that's that one. The next one I have, which I started in October the 16th, 2022, is this designer. I love this designer, Jacob. We all know Jacob. Modern Folk Embroidery. This is called The Song of the Nightingale. Okay, so I had an accident with this one because I didn't know how to measure my fabric. So there are a few projects, and I discovered another one this year, that I just didn't measure correctly. I now have an app for that. So this is being stitched on a 40 count. I'm sorry, I can't remember who the fabric is by. And this is how much I've got done. Going back to Lady Godiva, I got 1,650 stitches in her last year. And this month, I got 1,676 stitches. Song of the Nightingale, last year I got 715 stitches in her. And these are Roxy Floss Co. flosses, over dies. Using the call for over dies for that. And because I made a mistake, I was worried that I wouldn't have enough floss, so I needed to do it on a 40 count to make sure it's smaller and my floss will go further. So that was the reasoning behind that. Okay, so we're still in 2022. So the next one I have is Christmas Quaker 2 by Bygone Stitches. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen this terrible photocopy. But this is the one that I'm doing. Started this on the 17th of October 22. I'm using 320 and 321. I think these days I would make a different choice on the green, but I'm not a green fan. Okay. All right. And I do not serge my edges. So I'm sorry, there's going to be threads everywhere. But I'm getting close to halfway, I believe. This is all the way across. This is all the way across and almost halfway down. I don't know if I'll get this finished this year. It's a big piece. We shall see. If I'm not traveling as much, then I might. It's a focus piece to get it finished. But at least I'll get a lot of stitches in it, which is the main thing. Some I'll finish and some I won't. I think I've slated 8 projects to finish this year. We shall see. We shall see what happens at the end of the year. So Quaker Christmas last year, I got 3,540 stitches in there. It's not bad, but not good enough in my book, but that's just me. So moving on, next up we have Pandemic. Everybody's seen this one. I got 1,497 stitches in this. I love doing this. I'm using Sulky 12 weight, and the number is, I'm not sure which number is the right number, whether it's 40, 55 or 712. Take your pick, not sure. But it's a variegated thread in blue. Doing this on a 28 count Lugana. Can't stop that thread from rolling. So I think I'm on the 3rd page now. This is a huge piece. There are 2 other long dog samplers that I want to do. Yeah, there's a... Okay, lost that thread. I'll get it later. So this is where I'm at with this. I am loving this. So this is a focus as well this year. So we'll see how that goes. No chance that I'll get it finished. No, I'm not under any illusions as far as that's concerned. I do have plans to start 3 new projects. And one of them is a full coverage. I love full coverage. Okay, next up we have my chatelaine. So the first time I started the chatelaine, the fabric was too busy and I really didn't like how it looked at all. So I bought a more neutral fabric, and it's just a pale grey. Only to discover this year that I didn't measure it correctly. I can't believe that. And you have silk threads. So I'm worried I won't have enough thread because I'm going to have to start it again. This is Evening in the Park. So beautiful. So last year I did stitch on it. I got 1,678 stitches on it. But it's not big enough piece of fabric. And of course you start in the middle, so then what? Because I'm not unpicking it. So this is what I have. I'll fold the fabric over. So I Actually, I did hand dye some fabric last week. But it's turned out more blue than pearl grey, which is what I was going for. So this is what I had, and I have to restart. Isn't that sad? That is so sad. I was so upset about that. Anyways, these are the threads. They are gorgeous. I think I bought some more thread because I had to restart it. So now I'm thinking I'm going to have to buy more thread just to make sure I have enough. But, or I don't know whether to just risk it and hope for the best. What would you do? Would you risk it and hope for the best? I think that is being stitched on 28 count Lugana. Mind you, it looks like 32 count. Anyway, like I said, I got 1678 stitches in her, and I'm gonna have to start over. Okay, next up we have another Modern Folk embroidery. This was the so we're in 2023, yay! This was the Reaching Skywards. It's the stitch along for 2023. And I did this, I did this tree in the middle. I'm doing pretty well with this, even though I didn't finish it in the year. I don't know how anybody could finish it in the year, but I know people did. I'm using 3045 and 823. 823 seems to be the navy that I go for. So I'm going to have to stand back on this. I just realised, because I've been stitching on it recently, this past week. Last year I put in 6,187 stitches, and this year I've put in 2,168 because I wanted to finish the bit in the center. I don't know how this is going to work because the light will shine through the fabric, but I'll do my best and I'll move back a bit. So that's how much I got done on this. This is tea and coffee dyed 28 count Lugana. I dyed it myself. Trying to see if you can see everything. So yeah, I'm if I can show you here, just here, no, over this side. Just here is halfway down. Is halfway. So I've done more than halfway because I've finished all of this. But there's a lot of stitching at the bottom. I guess the bulk of the stitching is at the bottom. So I'm doing all these columns and bringing the border down as I go. And then this is kind of solid stitching here. I am hoping to get it finished this year, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a possibility. I'm running out of space as to where to put things. I am going to be moving you along my desk because I'll run out of space of where to put everything. So we are now moving on to my second pile. And yeah, so how are you doing so far? I hope you are enjoying this. We are right now 29 minutes in. Okay, so let's bring this next pile, my next pile over. I don't know what the weather's like with you guys, but here today the high is -5. No, It's got to be lower than that because the wind chill factor feels like -20. Isn't that lovely? Actually, I prefer it cold than hot. I struggled. When we were on our cruise, we went to Australia and I was dying. It was so hot and it wasn't even the summer. So I just don't do heat at all. Okay, this next pile, which is collapsing on me right now. In January, the 12th of January 2023, I started Stargazer, and I am stitching this on a vintage country mocha on the reverse side, on the wrong side. These are all the most of the colourful threads. These are the threads that I'm using right now. So a lot of blues. I've just finished stitching on her. What I'm doing is stitching on each project for 3 days. Don't know if I'll manage to do that all year. Whether I'd want to cut it down to 2 days. I'm not sure, but we shall see. This was one of those projects that I miscalculated and I had to restart. But I've only restarted it once. This is, yeah. So this is where I'm up to. Just get this situated. So this is what I have done so far. Yeah, so last year on Stargazer, I did 1,006 stitches. This year I have done 1,837 stitches, and what I did was I finished off the scarves, filled those in, and I had a lot of gaps here and there in the dress. It's very, as you can see, it's very flowing and they flow in like stripes down. So I had a lot of gaps, so I filled all those in and then I brought it out more this way. So this isn't slated for a finish. I would be nice to get all the stitching finished because all of those gaps, if I bring it in close, all of those gaps are beads. There's beads everywhere. But it's beautiful and I'm really enjoying stitching on it. As soon as I finish this one, I'm going to start another one. So, yeah. So that is Stargazer. So I had a good start on it for this year. So I'm very happy about that. Okay. The next one, this is another restart. I restarted it last year. This is Home for the Winter. Well, when I say I started it last year, it might have been in the year before. Not last year, in 23. I'm not too sure. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs mini Home for the Winter. It's loose. The artwork is by Lucy Pittaway. And it's no longer available. Like I said earlier, I started all of my full coverages initially on 20 count, and I was doing it two over one, and it was too bulky. I do have some CXC threads, and I'm not a fan. They're too thick, too fluffy. I prefer DMC, but it's costly. When you do full coverage, it's, you know, to your advantage to use CXC threads, but I'm not a fan. So this is all I have. I can't even tell you how many stitches are in there. But basically, it's just the sky. It's just the sky up there on this side here. not too much to show really. The next one I have to show you is Peace and Light by Satsuma Street. This didn't get any stitches last year. That's this one. I think I'm using all of the colourful colours. I'm using the colourful fabric, which is Mystic. It's an Ada. Not a fan of the fabric, unfortunately. But I am trying, it's a Picture This Plus, and it's an 18 count Ada. But I have to say, because I've restarted this so many times, like trying to find the fabric that I enjoy stitching on. So anyway, I started stitching on it this year, and I put 1454 stitches, and this is where I'm at. Sorry, my pile was falling. Okay, yeah. So basically, it's in the dove here. And by the time I'd done a fair amount on it, I did 3 days with it. I was getting used to it, but I don't enjoy it. I don't know whether it's because it's Ada or because the fabric is so dark. I'm not sure, but it's looking pretty good. Yeah. So I'd like to get that finished this year, because now we're in 2022, so yeah, I've finished 22, but we're in 23, sorry. Now I'm going to find another chart. It's, I don't know if I have a cover picture. It's called a baby floral hedgehog, and I didn't stitch on it last year, so it's going to be a long way down in my good notes. Oh well, if I can't find it, I'm afraid you'll just have to take my word for it. And I can't. It's in here somewhere. Okay, I can't find it, and I don't want to bore you with me just scrolling along. I have too many charts. Way too many charts. And they're not alphabetized, so I can't find it. Anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. This is a baby hedgehog, and it's all floral. I don't even know which way is up. Oh, yeah, I do. I did not stitch on it last year, and it's going to be challenging to find exactly where I am this year. I think this black blob here, I think it's the eye. I'm sorry I can't show you the picture, the finished, what it looks like finished, but that's what I have so far. And I'm not stitching the outside. I'm not stitching the border. It's all white stitches, and I just didn't want to do that because this is white fabric, obviously. I mean, that's just basically a lesson in insanity to stitch white on white. It's just a 25 count, or it could be 28 count Lugana, but that's all I have of that so far. Next up, we have Sampler of Stitches by the Drawn Thread. Started this with a friend. We started it on July the 1st, 2023. This is what the whole thing looks like. I think Sarah, the stitching mummy, she has finished this. So it's got a lot of specialty stitches in it. I'm on part 1, which is the ABC. And I did not stitch on it last year. And I'm doing my own colour conversion, basically, and that's what I have. I've yet to do the C. But it's looking pretty. So, anyway. The next one I started this in July the 8th, 2023, and I actually finished it. I didn't stitch on it. Oh, I did stitch on it last year. I put just over 1,000 stitches in it. It's called Strawberry Fair. Do you know what? I don't even know who the designer is, because I've put the chart away. I'd kind of finished it. I wasn't particularly happy with it because I'd gone wrong somewhere. But then I decided, oh, I need to put all these little doohickeys in here and finish this and do this border at the bottom. So I did that this year, finished it, and I put in 320 stitches. That's all I needed to do. And it kind of finished it off. So I'm glad I did that. So that's one finish. Well, that's this year's finish, 2025, number 1. The next up I have is After the Roses by Ink Circles. And this is being stitched on a Lugana, a 28 count Lugana called Fresco. I am using the Call For threads, which are these beautiful threads. A little too much green in it for me, but I should have known that by looking at it. What can I say? So, yeah, I started this July 23. No. I started After the Roses in September the 2nd, 2023. And that's what I have. It is pretty. Not a focus for this year. Next up, I actually didn't stitch on it last year at all. And next up I have Anne Oliver. She's my namesake. My maiden name is Oliver and my middle name is Anne, so I had to stitch this. I put in 394 stitches last year. I do not know what the fabric is. No idea what the fabric is. I'm stitching it. I don't even have the threads here. I think I'm stitching it with DMC. It's probably a 36 count. Is it 36? And I'm doing it 2/2. And I'll show you what I have thus far. I'm sorry, I did not iron this. I have got all the border in, and I started in at the top there, but the border goes all the way down to the bottom and it meets up, which is the main thing, right? So it goes all the way down. I really would like to get back to my samplers. This is Anne Oliver, 1845, and reproduced by Hands Across the Sea samplers. Yeah. So I would like to get back to that, but I don't think it will be this year. If you can see over my shoulder, this board here is my WIP Go board. And it's 2 boards in one. Pink strips, I think, are The pink strips are full coverage and the yellow strips are other WIPs. So I'm hoping a lot of my other WIPs will get touched a little bit this year, but we shall see. Next up, I have In the Arms of Grace. This is charted by Stitches So Beautiful, and the artwork is by Wendy Andrews. I just adore this. I love the badger and the hare, and look at the owl. It is a full coverage. It's fairly big, 400 by 400. And I have the measliest, well, almost the measliest of starts, because I have another project. There's nothing on it hardly. I didn't get any stitches in it last year. And this is 25 count Lugana stitched 1/1. So I will be touching this year for sure. So that's that one. Next up, no stitches in that last year. I might be repeating myself. The next one is Rejoice Evermore. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread. I started it on September the 10th, 2023. I think I was in Israel then, and I had a house to myself, and I was just stitching samplers because it was Sampler September. So this is Rejoice Evermore. It's being stitched on a 36 count porcelain by Roxy Floss Co. And I'm using the Roxy Floss Co conversion and all their threads. Look how beautiful that is. So beautiful. I apologize, it has not been ironed. It did not get touched last year at all. But I did manage to do the border all the way around. So once you see the top of the border, like the green border, you'll know that that's gone all the way around. And then I've started in with the little flower buds. But that is so pretty. If you're finding that the lighting is a bit dark, can you let me know? Because it has gone a bit duller here. It's very overcast. I'm not sure if we're expecting snow today, but it is very dull and overcast. I do have a ring light. I do wear glasses actually, and I took them off because the blinds was reflecting. So anyway, that is Rejoice Evermore. So hopefully I'll get some stitches in that this year. The next one up is September's Revenge, which I started on September the 23rd, 2023. It's by Maximum Cross Stitch, and that's the chart. I don't think I stitched on it since I started it. All the threads are over dyes by Roxy Floss Co. I'm using the Call For fabric. It's an Ada. It's called Panettone. And let me see which way. Oh, that's the way up it goes. And that's what I have so far. Not too much, but a reasonable start. Actually, it looks pretty good on camera. I do like that. Okay, this is where my fabrics choices are going to be iffy because I don't remember what they are. So the next one up is Lady Halloween by Jardin Privé. And I am doing this one on the back. I love the orange with the black. I'm not a huge Halloween person, but you know, you see a chart and you like it. And so these are the threads. Oh. And these are the threads, and it's this way up. I do not know what colour, what fabric this is. It's a fairly loose weave. It is a Skywards, and it's kind of peachy looking. So that's what I have so far on there. I don't believe I stitched on her last year. Let me see. Nope. Sorry, but no stitches for you. So, okay. So here I have another finish. I just did not add her to my list, but I finished her this year. Did I? No, I finished her at the end of last year. This is Garden of Dreams by Barbara Anna. And I changed the cat a little bit because I have 2 tuxedo cats, which are thankfully sleeping right now in their castles. The cats got a Christmas gift, not from us, but from one of the kids. And it was a castle with a tunnel that leads off the castle. So they can sleep in it. But only one will fit in the castle. So they were fighting over it. So after Christmas, we bought another castle. So they each have a castle, but only one tunnel. And they play in there and sleep in there, and they have a great time. So it's great. So anyway, back to the stitching. This is Garden of Dreams by Barbara Anna, and I believe I finished her in December. Very pretty. And I think I have enough fabric on this side to do another one, hopefully. But the way I calculate fabric is not always correct. Okay, so, all right, I need to move you guys over a little bit. Sorry about that. It's because, so we've done 2 piles. And, oh goodness me. I'm trying to get another pile. Okay, move you here. This is a big pile. Oh, yeah, it is a challenge doing these WIP parades. Yes, just lost another thread. Okay, let me turn these over. Oh, this is all going a bit pear-shaped. It's a bit pear-shaped. We'll figure it out. Okay. Start with this little bit. Move my, I'm just going to have a little drink. Move everything over. So I can start stacking this side. I have a table down here on my left. So I have 2 piles there, but this is a large pile. Okay, so the next one up that I have, let's move that around a bit. Yeah. Okay, this is Quaker Pumpkins. It is by Hello from Liz Matthews. This is really pretty. So I'm stitching this with the called for colours. I didn't get any stitches in it last year. So this uses Weeks Dye Works. I love these colours. I love the fall colours. And I think that's why I like Lady Halloween, because she's 4 colours too. And like I said, I haven't touched this all year last year. So let me fold it so you can see it. Oh, this is on a fabric flare. It's called Stone, and it's a 32 count linen. There we go. It's always good to know what the fabric is, if possible, isn't it? Okay. So that's what I have done. I'm not sure which way up it goes, but that's what I have so far. Looking forward to getting some stitches in this year. And next up I have the Friendship Sampler. This is a Modern Folk embroidery. I went to the Jacob Palooza retreat in 2023. So this was started on October the 13th, 2023. So I think we got this. We had to order it ahead of time. So I'm stitching it with the call for thread, which is Royale. You could either use the blue or the red. I chose blue. I'm more of a blue person. And this is how far I got, and I haven't touched it since. Which is sad. It's kind of sacrilege that you don't stitch on these things, but it's lovely. I don't know what the fabric is. I can't remember, but it is a Roxy Flosco fabric. No idea what it is, but it's a kind of Ada, and I would say it's a 32 count. So that's that one. Okay. The next one up I have, I'll turn over my page. The next one I have is the Birdhouse SAL that was put on by Colette, the Highway Stitcher. There was a whole group of people. Brenda, the Handwork Maniac, was doing this. This is the Birdhouse SAL by Jardin Privé. The actual name is Au Fil des Niçoises. And that's the pattern. I started it in November of 2023. I'm almost finished. I just have to do the back stitch. Last year I put in 12,230 stitches. I really was trying to get this done last year. So that's part of it, and I'll turn it around. And that's the other half. So I kind of started, where did I start? I started in the November and did this part first, and then I went all the way around. It's quite a lot of stitches in this. Did I finish it this year? No. So, well, I'm not finished. I still got to do the back stitch. Can't call it finished, can I? Unless you let me. But yeah, so that's definitely going to be finished this year. I probably should do a little bit of back stitch every day, which was my plan, and then I just like, no, I need a break. so I didn't do any. I did a little bit of back stitch, but not much. Okay, next up we have the Modern Folk embroidery. It's a black sampler. It's called Love Games. This is stitched on a 32 count dirty porcelain linen by Roxy Flosco, and I'm using Roxy Flosco licorice sticks, so I'm using this thread. It's black, yeah. And didn't get any stitches in this last year, and that's all I have. I'm stitching it 2/1, probably 2/2. You know, when you haven't worked on something for a while, you kind of forget what you're doing. Next up is Hedge Rose by Plum Street Samplers. I love hedgehogs. I discovered that there's a lot of backstitch in this, and I'm not a huge fan of backstitch, but I will finish it. I'm not telling you when. It did not get worked on last year. It is being stitched on a 40 count, and I can't remember what this fabric is, but it's very tightly woven. I mean, it says it's 38 count, but there's no way that is 38 count. There's no way. So that's as far as I have got. All right, next up we have Pringles. I started this on the 1st of December 2023. Everybody has seen this. I am stitching it on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. I am using the Core threads. These are the threads. Mainly Classic Colourworks with a couple of DMCs thrown in, I believe. And I did stitch on this. I got 1189 stitches in it. Excuse me while I... You know, I feel as if we need music playing in the background, just gently playing. Okay, that's as far as I've got. I'm still working on the roof. I'm about, I don't know, how far am I on this? Yeah. I'm not even a third of the way, because there's 3 of these windows. So I'm coming up to doing this one. So it's just over a third of the way of the roof done. So next up is Santa Stops Here. This is a conversion done by Katie Strachan. The chart is by With Thy Needle and Thread, and it is stitched on Accentuate Legacy Linen 1/2. I did get some stitches in here last year, and what did I get? 864 stitches. As you can see, this is pretty dense piece of fabric, piece of linen, but it comes with it was a kit, so it came with all the threads, and it's 103s. I lost some of them, so this is a thread pack. Aren't they beautiful? Look at this. This is called, oh, that's called Accentuate. This is just a Legacy Linen. This is Accentuate, and there's another thread. This next thread is a Surefine thread. They're all silks. I have another pack over there. So yeah. I feel as if this is getting very precarious over here. Next up, I have Falling Snow by Shannon Christine. This is the one. Last year I got 1961 stitches in it, and that was mainly in December, because Okay, belongs to that. These are my threads. There's only 3 colours. Oh, and a gold. I think there's some gold. There's beads in this one as well. Can't tell you what the fabric is. I'm sorry. But it's starting to look really nice. I think I'm almost finished the first page, or I'm just finished the first page. Let me move this out of the way. Isn't that pretty? I like to use 3865, and I think that's what that is. And even the stitches aren't too bad. Yeah, pretty happy with that one. The next one that I worked on is called, in English, Enchanted Night. In French, it's Par une nuit enchantée, which is this one. I think I got it on Etsy. That's the name of the company up there. But this is the chart. This is bigger than you think it's going to be. Same fabric as the Falling Snow. And I did work on this last year in December. And I got 1,354 stitches. It's kind of cute. Still got a long way to go. Let's get this situated. So that's how much I got done. So I changed up the colour of the fox and the squirrel because they were all turning out to be the same colour. And I didn't want that. Actually, the squirrel should be the fox colour, I think. It's more closely the fox colour, but it's a red squirrel. It's a European squirrel, it's red. Okay, and next. Okay, this, I love stitching on this. This is the Union Jack. Let me buy Vistas. I'm going to pull it up. In GoodNotes. Shouldn't be too far away. Oh, what happened there? This is it here. I would like to do the Canadian flag next. But you know, best laid plans of mice and men. So this, we are now in 2024. So this was started on the 24th of January 2024. I changed the colours because the grey was too pale and insipid looking. Wouldn't look right on the white. And I wanted you to be able to see the white peeping through, so you actually get to see the Quaker part of it. So I'm nearly finished the first page. That's where I'm at. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay, how's that? Yeah. Yeah. So nearly the first page done. That's I'm just thinking if that's how deep it is, but it isn't. I think another page is the full length of the project, but it's pretty wide. It's very wide. These are the colours I'm stitching it with. So my usual, oh, I thought it was 823, it's not. So I have 939, which is more the accent of the fine stripes going through. 321, yeah. 02 for the grey, so it's a bit darker. And 820 for the royal blue. So I'm really happy with how that's turning out. I'll be working on this year for sure. It's going to be one of my pieces that I'll work on either every month or every other month at least. As I complete some of my 2022 projects, I will add in a 2023 project. So last year, the reason why I was not around, part of the reason why I was not around other than traveling, was because I did the Hedge SAL. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I found that I really needed to stitch it. Like, I've got to finish it. I got to finish it. I did the Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 3 by Amy Stewart. I started it the 1st of January and I completed it October the 31st. 64,250 stitches. And I am really pleased that I got it done. So there it is in all its glory. But man, I was just so focused on getting this finished last year. And even though we went on the cruise ship, I took it with me. It had to be stitched on every single day. So this is what I worked on. This is the back, if you want to see the back. A mess. Stitched on 25 count Lugana. And I'm really pleased actually that I completed it. I'd never stitched, I have stitched Hades. I have started Hades, let's put it that way. And I really enjoy stitching full coverage, but I'd never completed one. Obviously, I only started in 2022. So I was thrilled when I finished this. It was quite challenging at times. There's a lot of confetti in here. But it gave me confidence to stitch anything, to stitch my full coverages. It just gave me a lot of confidence. I enjoyed it. I did not want to join the SAL this year because that would be most of what I stitched on instead of stitching on what other things. Because last year I wanted to finish my 2022 projects, but I didn't because I joined the SAL and that's where most of my focus went. I don't regret it. I really don't regret it. I enjoyed every minute of it. So those of you that are doing the 2025 SAL, enjoy yourselves. Try not to get too addicted to it or too stressed about getting it stitched. I know the rules have changed this year. I think you have to stitch 6 pages to get all of the charts. And you don't, I don't know how many charts you'll get if you get it all stitched, but they're bigger pieces. Yeah, so I'm so glad I did it last year because otherwise it would have probably taken me to the end of the year to finish it. Okay, so that is my Hedge SAL. So yay, finished it. Okay, so what I've been doing is the last few years I've been stitching the Prairie School of Santas. I hit on a floss tube and a younger woman had stitched 30 Santas in January. Like, I can do one a year. So I stitched a Santa last year. It's like my travel piece. Yeah, so I'm trying to get at least 5 Santas done, because I'm going to add them. I'm going to stick them on a live edge piece of wood, block of wood. It's an inch thick, and I just think it would look lovely. I'll show you what I mean when I finally finish something, but I've got to get someone to chop up this wood for me. But this is the Santa that I finished last year. So I've yet to start one for this year, but I will. Isn't that cute? Do you want to see the other two? Because I have 2 more. These are the other 2 I have done. This one. This one is my favourite so far. I just make sure you can see. Yeah, I made a boo-boo. I went wrong, so I had to start again. Hopefully when I frog all of that out, I'll have room to put another Santa in there. But I don't know what this is. I think it's a 32 count Lugana of some sort. But yeah, so I'm quite pleased about that one as well. So that was a finish as well. So I think I finished 3 last year. Garden of Dreams, the Santa and the Hay SAL. Yeah, 3. No, 4. I have another one. It will come up at the end because I missed it out. I also got the exclusive from the Homespun Stitches. I can't remember what the Facebook group is called. I got Charlotte Warrington 1838. This is a big lady. I did stitch on her last year. Where is it? I put 2,669 stitches in her. I think the fabric is 40 count hog's bristle, I think. DMC threads. This is huge. I will show you the little bit I have done. I found it challenging to work on this because it needs to be on a stand. And I had a stand and I had to sew it onto the stand, but I didn't get the tension. So I was very naughty last year. At the end of the year, I bought a Omnic stand. I'm looking over there because it's outside of my room right now. It's kind of big. The actual frames with great tension, and I love it. So this is, which is the top? That is the top. So this is Charlotte Warrington. And I'm using DMC threads. Yeah, 2,669 stitches was placed in her, and I love it. Yeah, so I've got to work on those 2022 projects and get them done, so then I can focus more on other things. The next one is 4 Seasons, and I started it in June of last year. Not too sure about that, you know. This was a birthday gift. It's Lynart. Yeah, and it's 4 Seasons. This is insane. Has an insane amount of threads. These are the threads. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So last year I did 4,057 stitches. Now I am using the called for fabric, and it is basically a 27 count white Lugana. And you're supposed to stitch it 2 over 2. Well, I don't like that anymore. It's too big. So I decided, because you have to start in the center, basically because of the way everything is in here. So I'm stitching it 1 over 2. Or is it 1 over 1? I'm stitching it 1 over 1. Crazy. Hang on, let me see if I can sort this out without knocking anything else over. Huge piece of fabric. Started in the middle, which means I'm going to waste fabric, which is heartbreaking. But maybe I can put smaller projects on what's left. This is a center start, and I have my, I'm not sure which is, this is the way up. I just love how delicate that is. So that's the center. And I put in, how many stitches? 4,057 stitches in that last year, which is amazing. Okay, next up, we're getting close to the end, so please bear with me. This is, this is hardly worth showing you actually. This is Heatwave by Satsuma Street. It's on 20 count. Let's see if I can bring it up on my iPad. I did see it, so. Oy. You know, I added up all my charts. Too many charts. Too many charts. Oh, goodness, why do I do that? Okay, this is a pillow. It is gorgeous. In the middle of last year, I kind of got the urge. I wanted to stitch on something summery. So that is Heatwave by Satsuma Street. Stitching it on a 20 count Lugana, which I really don't like this stuff. It feels plasticky to me. And that is the massive start that I got. And trust me, I have something in here with an even smaller start, which I debated whether I should even put that in there. But yeah, and I'm gonna lose this needle here. So this is a Zweigart, but it feels kind of plasticky. I really don't like the 20 count, but I had this and I wanted to start something, so I did. I tried giving this away and nobody wanted it, so anyway, that's that. So I didn't put any stitches in it. Where is it? I've lost it. Oh, it's down here. No stitches in that. The next one I have is Bee Hoop. It's a Doreen Jones chart. I think I got it off Etsy. Isn't that cute? I love the bees and the beehives. And I believe these could be the threads from Heatwave. I think they are. It doesn't look like the right threads to me. Anyway, yeah, really doesn't. Don't know where her threads are. Okay, so this is, I managed to get a bee in. I do not know what the fabric is. I have a lot of it. It's a Lugana 28 count, and there it is. That's how much I've got done. So hopefully I'll get some more done on that. Hopefully it gets called on my WIP Go. I had another finish last year. It was a start and a finish. This was from the Just Cross Stitch Christmas magazine, 2023, little Poinsettia Fairy. I really need to do some finishing. So that's that one, and that's a finish. So that's 4 finishes actually for last year. What else do I have? Oh, fabulous houses. So I have a story with this. So we're starting with this one. Stitching it, I tried to get the Fox and Rabbit fabric, could not get it from anywhere. So I started it on this fabric. Well, I started it on another fabric and you couldn't see the white. This is 40 count 1/1 and that's how much I got done on it. And it's too green for me. For some reason I have green fabrics. I don't know why, because I don't like green that much. So I'd put 1,061 stitches in there. So it's going to be a new start on this fabric, which is, it's a 40 count Stormy Night Newcastle linen. So it's going to go on there, and I think all the flosses will look good on that one. So that's that. And then I started Heaven and Nature Sing, and I think, oh, I need to put that with there. Okay, I think it's a Kathy Barrett, but don't hold me to that until I pull it up. Okay. I did put, how many stitches did I put in this? Heaven and Nature, I put just 1,112 stitches in it. Here it is. Yeah, it's a Kathy Barrett. This is it. Heaven and Nature Sing. And I'm stitching it on a neutral fabric. I don't know where the threads are. This is, oh, I don't know what this is. It's a Lugana. It has some texture to it, some mottling. This is what I have so far. Isn't that cute? Had to put the bird in, the cardinal. But I did all of that last year in December. So just over 1,100 stitches in that. So that's that one. Okay, we're coming to the last pile. I just need to, I'm going to move over a little bit. This is craziness over here. Crazy. All right. Sorry if I'm making you a little bit seasick. So what I have next is my sheep virtues, but I have to having to move things around a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Just bear with me a little minute. I don't know what I lost on the floor, but I lost something. Oh, just lost something else. Okay. Oh gosh, I have my 103s just rolling around on the floor. Okay, so what I have next are the Sheep Virtues by Little House Needleworks, and I won these from the Sunshine Stitchers, so I have all 12 of them, but I've just finished Hope. I don't really need to show you this. And this is an odd colour. It's a brown. This is going to be for my grandchildren. My son wanted something that has all the, not morals, what do you call these? Virtues, or yeah, virtues. Sheep virtues, duh. Okay, so I finished the first one. This is Hope. I've yet to buy the buttons, but I will get those. And that's Hope. Isn't that cute? Putting the red in that big snowflake really lifted it. The sheep was supposed to be stitched in a kind of grey, but I stitched it in a cream because I wanted to lift it a bit. It just looked a bit, the colours didn't sing to me, let's put it that way. There's a lot of green in it. Maybe it's that. Not a fan of green. How many times have I said that? Too many times. Okay. And you'll wonder why I'm stitching this one. But anyway, so the next up I have, so the sheep virtues I put 1112 stitches in last year. Next up I have mince pies and mulled wine. It's from Cosford Rise Stitchery, and they're little pillows. So we have mince pies and mulled wine, and then Christmas crackers and pudding, then carols and candlelight, and the last one is holly, mistletoe and ivy. You can't really see them on there. So me in my desperation, I wanted to start them. So I did. I had some green fabric. Actually, they look quite pretty. So I finished the first one, mince pies and mulled wine. This is a 32 count linen, and I'm on the second one, Christmas crackers. I'm stitching it with a Roxy Floss Co. Overdye, Holly Jolly. I started it on the 18th of November. I had that thread left over from their stitch along, their countdown, Christmas countdown last year. So I figured I'd use that. Hopefully I have enough. So that was my Christmas pillows. Next up, I started Consider the Lilies on September the 20th. In September last year, I was on a ship. This was my cruising start project. I'm using all the colourful colours. I am stitching it I'm stitching it on a dirty porcelain, I believe, by Roxy Floss Co. It is huge, as you all know, because you've all seen it before. I'm missing some fabrics here, but that's okay. Oh. All right, my piles are collapsing. I didn't get too many stitches in this. 375 stitches. So that is all I have to show you. Okay, everything's collapsing. I'm so sorry. Got some more over here. So that's that one, Consider the Lilies. And then I have Nutcracker, and it is an artisy chart. not sure who the artist is. Let me see if I can pull it up. I have seen it. There it is. It's by Tarina Clark. She is the designer, but it was charted by Artisy. So it's the mini. That's in there. And this was a case as well of, I really wanted to start him and I didn't have the fabric. Canada Post was on strike, which, yeah. So I'm stitching him on a 20 count Lugana. 2/1, full cross. The rolling around are my 103s. Oh goodness. I have such a mess to clean up. That's okay. It will be good to get the WIP Parade done so we can start with a new year. So that's how far I've got with him. I'm loving it. You can't really see, the colours aren't showing very well. So, where is he? Nutcracker. I did 2,900 stitches on him in December. And I have to put that over there. This is how I do my threads on Paco things. Yeah. So I cut out all the symbols, put them on, slide them in. Really works well. I would like to get all of my full coverages onto Pacos. They're expensive though. You know, I think they're $16 Canadian a pop. So when you've got several of them, that's a lot. The next one up, I am missing a couple and I'm sorry, but there's not much on them anyway. I started this one. This is Put a Bird on It. A lot of people are doing this stitch along. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe not. Shouldn't be too far away. Maybe it is. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, this is Put a Bird on It. Started it on the 15th of December last year. Trying to get the glare off there. There you go. I love the colours on this. I'm not stitching the called for colours. I am using 103s. See if I can. I've probably lost one on the floor. These are the colours I'm doing. And I'm stitching it on Dirty Porcelain 32 count linen by Roxy Floss Co. And I think, how many stitches did I get? 427 stitches. Here we go. I'm showing you my needle minder. So that's how much I've got done. The needle minder, the fox, I got from a place in New Zealand called Ribbon and Rose last year. Isn't he gorgeous? They had so many gorgeous needle minders. I could have one of everything. Okay, so we're nearly there, people, nearly there. Okay, so I have 2 more left. And the next one up is a new start for me. I wanted to start it on Christmas Day, but I didn't get to it, you know, being Christmas Day. So on Boxing Day, I started it. I'm like, beside myself with this one. I'm sorry for all that. Well, let me block that out. This is, I'm just so excited about this one. It is called Better to See You With. Now, I copied Emily from Crafty Emily. When I saw her doing this, I couldn't get it out of my mind. And I just love it. I'd love to stitch Red Riding Hood, but I know that Emily has worked her way down to that. But if I stitch that, I wouldn't want to stitch anything else. So I started at the top. I have put in 1,015 stitches. I don't know if oh yeah, and this year in January I did another 1,800 stitches. So I'm just gonna try and get that. I'm not too sure how I'm going to show you this. It's really difficult to see given it is, everything is falling. Okay, hold on a second. Just bear with me a minute. Let me move you over again. Sorry. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. You're getting a good view of everything behind me. Oh, everything is just falling down. So this is on 25 count Ada. Let me move this a bit more. 25 count Lugana. And as you can see, it's the gridded version, and I'm not a fan of that. You can see the grids through the stitching. Anyway, that's how much I've got done. This is on my fancy almanac frame, which I'm, you know, just getting used to. So that's my penultimate project that I'm super excited about, that I really want to focus on, because if I don't, it's 557,000 stitches, I believe. Let me see. No, 553,575 stitches. Yeah, I would love to finish that in my lifetime, but who knows? I don't know. So the next thing and the last thing I have, which is, where's the chart? Oh goodness, I don't know. Oh, I do have the chart. Just bear with me one more minute. Okay, I am doing an Afghan, which is what I'm trying to stitch on at night. It is called Christmas Town. Let me see if I can. Where's the cover page? Oh man. This is, you can't see this. This is. Oh, that's just fan-dabba-dozy here because I can't find it. Anyway, it's called Christmas Town. I think I got it. Is it Silver Creek Samplers? I started this, I don't know when I started it. I don't even have my stitches written down. It's on a fireside fabric. This is the very first block. Let me see. Yeah, it's my very first block. And I'm trying to stitch it at night because I don't need any magnification or any light. Well, I need some light, but I have enough light to stitch this in the evening. And that's all I've done. I think each block is about 2,000 stitches, something like that. And I'm kitting it up. I just kit up the block that I'm working on. And I'm trying to do that with my Hades. I'll kit up the first page. If there's multiple floss is needed in that first page for one colour, then I'll get that colour. So that's kind of how I'm rolling right now. I'm very cognizant of the time. I cannot believe that I've been on here so long. It's been 1 hour and 45 minutes. I am so sorry. I will do a plans video and it'll be very short. I'll probably do it next week. I hope you have all enjoyed this floss tube, this WIP Parade, this session of absolute gloriness of fabrics and threads and chaos, because you should see it right now. It's a bit of a mess. Yeah, so I'll try and put in a plans video in the next week or so, just highlighting what I'm going to focus on this year, because it's been so much throughout this video. Yeah, that's probably all gone over there. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a great rest of your Sunday and of your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again. So happy stitching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.